Everyone, my name is Dabiruddin Syed and I will be presenting my paper on investigation on optimizing cost function to penalize underestimation of load demand through deep learning modeling. So following is the outline of the current presentation. So I will be presenting the motivation and introduction of the work, then presenting the proposed pulse cost function and the methodology involved, followed by the results and discussion, and then I will be presenting my conclusion. Now the motivation of this work is like electrical energy has to be generated whenever there is a demand for it, and it is very crucial that the electrical utilities estimate the load demand on their system. So this kind of estimation is called as load forecasting, and the data that is arrived from the electric utilities is at high velocity, veracity and volume, making the data as big data. And the smart meter data, which represents the energy consumption, we need to perform the load forecasting in order to be able to perform capacity planning, building and the operations. Now in this kind of estimation or load forecasting, the accuracy of the forecasting is important. Still, the underestimation of the load is more harmful than overestimation. The underestimation of the load can lead to unintentional brownouts and blackouts that have negative effect on energy consumers. Now this is the motivation of current work, that is to eliminate the tendency of the deep learning models to underestimate while trying to maintain the accuracy of the models. Now the objective function for machine learning in load forecasting is to minimize the loss function. So the loss function is derived as basically the difference between the actual value of the target, which is energy consumption, and the predicted value. Now widely used loss function is the mean square loss function. So the cost function can be basically given by the mean, that is the average of the sum of the square errors. Now the widely used loss functions which are used in regression problems are quadratic function or L2 such as MSE, mean square error, linear such as mean absolute error, Huber loss function, logarithmic loss function and quantile loss function. Now the proposed pulse cost function. So this is the cost function that has been proposed, and it is for penalizing the underestimation of the load. So pulse stands for penalizing underestimation logarithmic square error. So it is basically proposed as the logarithmic difference between the actual value and the predicted value. Apart from that, we are adding the penalty term, which also involves a function which is called as the negative ReLU. Now this particular negative ReLU function is basically given as minus x when x is less than 0 and 0 when x is greater than or equal to 0. So what happens is whenever x is greater than or equal to 0, or whenever the prediction value is greater than yi, so it happens that this particular term is 0, and logarithmic 1 of 1 is also 0. So there is no penalization whenever the yi pred is greater than yi, but whenever yi pred is less than yi, so this particular term it becomes positive, and we are basically adding the penalty to the cost function. And this function xi of x is minus minimum of 0 comma x for all x, and is denoted by this. If you graphically understand this, this is basically the negative of the ReLU function. Now the pulse function can be rewritten as, now we know log a minus b is log a by b, so we are basically rewriting the term that has been introduced before. Now the merits of the proposed cost function, which is basically the logarithmic cost function, is that whenever there is a change in the unit, also the MSE loss and MAE loss can give exploding losses, whereas the logarithmic cost function will have like controlled losses. Now with the introduction of the logarithmic in the cost function, it introduces certain merits. One of them is controlled loss values, and it also depends on the relative difference between the true and the predicted value, actually the percentual difference between them. It will treat small differences between small true and predicted value approximately the same as the big differences between large true and large predicted values. Now the other merits of the proposed cost function is that since it has this term which is basically there are two terms in the proposed cost function, term 1 and then there is penalty term. So if we just compare the term 1, so this term itself penalizes the underestimation by a small quantity. So here we are doing underestimation and this is like overestimation. Now this has like large cost function value and this has like lower cost function value, but in case of MSc and MAE we have the cost values to be same, so no penalization. The logarithmic inherently provides penalization for the underestimation. So the data that is used in our study is a real case study data, which is Portuguese load diagrams demand data set for 3 years, and if we see the consumption records of are around 51.89 million records spanning over 370 customer, and the RAM size that is required is 700 MB. Now the pre-processing steps before the data is fed into the deep learning model is the data scaling and mean normalization is performed at the input layer, and also sliding window method is used in order to break the dependency or the auto correlationship between yt plus 1 and yt. Now in the life cycle of learning of deep neural networks, we know that we have like the hidden layers. We usually initialize the weights of these hidden layers, and we are trying to like optimize these weight values so that the error of the output predictions will be less. Now in order to do that, we use cost function in order to calculate the actual error based on true values and the output predictions that we get, and the optimizer is used to optimize the cost function. Basically Adam optimizer is used commonly, and then once the optimization is performed, we update the weights using that particular batch size of the data, and we update the weights of the hidden layers, and the cycle goes on. So this is the life cycle of learning in deep neural networks. Now we are optimizing the cost function here in order to reduce the tendency or eliminate the tendency of the deep neural network models to underestimate while maintaining the error. Now our deep learning model that is utilized in our work is the long short term memory networks. It is in order to handle the long term dependencies, and LSTMs are very good with the time series data. Now it basically utilizes different kinds of gates: the FIR gate, input, candidate layer gate, output gate, and the memory gate. So the inputs are the memory value from the previous layer, the hidden layer value from the previous layer, from the previous iteration or time step, and the current input at the time step 2. The FIR gate, the input gate, they uses a sigmoid function on the multiplication of HT and WF and XT and UF, and we basically add the time independent biases, and these are the weight matrices which are time independent. The same uses the sigmoid activation, and the candidate layer uses tan H activation. The output gate uses the sigmoid activation, and finally the hidden state value at time step t is given by the tan H on the memory input and multiplied by the output OT value. So this is the deep learning model LSTM that has been introduced. Now the steps for improvement of accuracy is we use the batch normalization, which basically performs the standardization or the normalization at each hidden layer. Usually we perform the normalization of the inputs at the hidden layer number 1, but in batch normalization we are normalizing the inputs of all the layers in the neural networks. So this improves the accuracy of the deep learning model and also reduces the overfitting. And the batch normalization is usually used with a dropout and after every layer in the hidden states. Now the dropout it basically is used to reduce the overfitting. It corresponds to high variance, whilst underfitting corresponds to high bias. Now the dropout or the overfitting, it indicates high training accuracy and low testing accuracy, and we are basically using the dropout, which in each iteration randomly removes some neurons in this layer. Now with a dropout, we are basically training different neural networks, and during test time the combination of those results is generated by averaging the results. Now if dropout is utilized, we need to basically increase the number of epochs of training for better results, and that has been performed in this work. And the advantages of improvement is that after batch normalization, the penalty factor that has been introduced in the optimization function, which is beta, it lies between 0 to 1, and it can be acted as a hyperparameter argument to the custom loss function or the proposed loss function, so the iteration brings the best penalty factor. In order to check any optimization or the cost function works efficiently or not, we need to check the convergence of the cost function against the number of epochs. Now we have done that for the train loss and the test loss. This is for the MSE function, and this is for the pulse cost function. Now with both the MSE loss function and the pulse cost loss function, we see that the models converge reasonably quickly. Now in the MSE loss function, this convergence happened around 10 epochs, but for the pulse cost function, it was obtained after 25 epochs. So 25 epochs is still a very low number. So the convergence proves that this cost function performs good in order to optimize. Now the results of the proposed methodology by the utilization of this proposed loss function is to avoid the underestimation of the energy consumption. It was made possible because of the proposed loss function based on logarithmic value. The green curve here is indicating the predictions using the proposed loss function, and the blue curve, it indicates the predictions based on MSE loss function, and the red curve indicates the actual loss function. Now we see that the blue curve sometimes it underestimates, but the green curve, it basically avoids the underestimation at most of the points or almost all of the points in all of the cases. So we have performed this on different or all customers, but have shown the subset of the customers as shown here. Now next, the results of the proposed methodology using the proposed cost function. So it is very competitive in comparison to the MSE cost function in terms of normalized RMSE. If you see, these are like very close values. The RMSE values are very close, the mean absolute error is very close, but in terms of MAPE, we have that the MAPE value is reduced in the proposed pulse cost function. The train time per model has also not increased. It is very similar. In one case it is 1326, and in proposed pulse cost function it is 1470 seconds. Now we have also compared the results of the proposed pulse cost function based deep learning model against the deep learning models or the models that have been proposed in the literature on the same data set, and we notice that our performance is basically very similar and performs well with respect to the other models such as ELM, RNN, linear regressor, KSR, KNN, Gaussian regressor, generalized regression, recurrent extreme learning machine. However, recurrent extreme learning machine, they perform better, but here our aim was not just to maintain the accuracy or reduce the accuracy, but also to avoid the underestimation, and that has been made possible with the proposed cost function or proposed loss function. Now in conclusion, I would like to say that the pulse cost function, it optimizes the convergence of the deep learning model errors to minimum. It works efficiently, and the results demonstrate that the proposed pulse cost function, it also produces the accurate models while removing the tendency of the deep learning models to underestimate. So we get the overestimated values, which is generally preferred in utilities over underestimated values. The proposed scheme is very competitive to the models proposed in the literature, and in the future work we would like to apply this proposed scheme to big data, and also the impact of forecasting horizon will be studied. Thank you so much for this opportunity.